We can do it. Get up on your seat. Oh.
Sorry about that, but we just got done dragging ourselves through this miserable preseason. I mean, besides the exception of the Carolina game, there was nothing to get excited about.
Yeah, but we made it. We made it though.
We did.
The training camp is over, preseason over. It's finally game week, and Titans Tube is back to prep you guys for each game, as we did last year. And also we're going to be doing the weekly NFL picks. We are going to be doing the post-game reaction podcasts, and we're going to be doing the Madden challenges as well.
So yeah, we're back to our weekly schedules, and this is the video where we're breaking down week 1 of the NFL season. Oakland Raiders coming to town to play the Tennessee Titans. How's this game going to go? I mean, this is a huge matchup. Honestly, I don't know why this isn't the primetime game on Sunday night. Both these teams are kind of hot picks to make it into the postseason from the AFC. Oakland made it last year. We missed out by just 1 game. And this is funny because this is the 3rd straight season where Oakland has come to Nashville to play us. And they've beaten us the previous 2 seasons, but the games have come down to the final drive. So I'm expecting this one to be another tight one, another great game for opening weekend of the NFL season.
Getting right into the matchup, we have to start with the quarterback, Derek Carr. And just like us, their star quarterback broke his fibula in the second last game of the season, just like Mariota did. It was a heartbreaking day for young star quarterbacks. But Derek Carr is the face of that franchise. He's established himself as a household name, one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL, and he's just as important to the Raiders as any player is to any team, in my opinion.
I mean, last year in only 15 games, he threw for over 4,000 yards, 28 touchdowns, and only 6 interceptions. If that doesn't scream MVP candidate, I don't know what does.
Me neither. And looking at our quarterback, though, Mariota, if we're going to make this comparison, we know what kind of season Mariota had last year. He almost put himself in that MVP conversation, I think, if we had kept winning games. But, of course, he went down with injury, too. So how do you see these two quarterbacks in comparing them and who might have the advantage going into this game?
You know what? It's very close, in my opinion. I mean, it's crazy how kind of similar these quarterbacks are, even down to the fact they both broke their fibula, the same injury, on the same day last year, kind of both derailing the team's, chances to make it deep into the postseason. We didn't make the postseason. They did, but they floundered out immediately. But I would like to say the advantage is pretty even. I'm going to have to go probably slight edge to Carr at this point.
Breaking my heart.
I know, as I wear his jersey. It's like, I can't, do you agree?
I can't blame you. I do. I think the difference is Derek Carr, I feel like at this point in his career, takes care of the football better. As far as skill set as a quarterback, I think Mariota is right there with Carr, but we've seen Mariota have some fumbling issues. He has thrown more interceptions than Carr. He did last year, at least.
I mean, obviously, I like Mariota. I really like Derek Carr, too. I think the guy's good. I think he's going to be a great quarterback, great person, and he's a great leader. If I were an Oakland Raiders fan, I would be super happy with the outlook of this season and the future with that team. So moving on to the next position in the backfield, the running backs. Oakland has acquired a new running back this year. Fresh off retirement, Marshawn Lynch, Mr. Skittles himself, is back, wanting to play for his hometown team, the Raiders. But you know what? He hasn't played a football game in over a year.
Yeah.
And he's gotten older in that year. Hard to believe, but yes, within a year, people do get older. That is a fact. You can stat check me on Wikipedia or whatever.
We might have to look that one up. I mean, do you think that's a good thing or a bad thing for a running back? He's over 30 years old, taking a year off, so you could make the argument he has fresher legs. But then again, he hasn't been hit in over a year as well, so I don't know if he's in that kind of football shape.
Well, he's coming into a great situation because the Raiders have one of the best offensive lines in all of football, and then pair that along with kind of their dynamic passing attack, Derek Carr and then their receivers, which we'll get to later. And it's a really good look for a guy coming out of retirement who hasn't been hit in over a year, hasn't played gotten a football carry in over a year. It's a prime spot, and I think it's one reason he actually decided to come out of retirement. Oakland's, prime for another playoff run this year, so it's a good situation.
He was more of the bell cow running back for the Seattle Seahawks. This year for the Oakland Raiders, I think they're going to utilize more of a running back by committee because they do have two young running backs in their second year, Jalen Richard and DeAndre Washington, who they had pretty much even production if you look at their stats from last year. But this team, as we keep going through these positions, are so similar to the Titans because the Titans also have a great offensive line, and we also have a couple of stud running backs as well.
You're exactly right, Justin. We do have another top offensive line and top rushing attack. I mean, we have a veteran power runner ourselves in DeMarco Murray, who's coming off a great year. Last year, one of his best of his career, over 1,000 yards. I think 3rd overall in the NFL in rushing. And then behind him, the prototype Derrick Henry, power guy who everyone wants to see get more carries. Even though they got Marshawn Lynch, I think he's going to be seeing a lot of time on the bench eating Skittles because advantage goes to us in terms of running attack.
Lynch on the bench.
On to the receiving core, wide receivers and tight ends, though, which is definitely a strength of the Raiders here. I mean, we know Amari Cooper, Michael Crabtree, both went over 1,000 yards last year receiving. That's a pretty dynamic duo.
But both more than our leading receiver, Rashard Matthews.
Exactly. So that's pretty good to have as your number 1 and number 2 guy. And let's not forget Seth Roberts, especially with all the focus being on those two guys. He's very capable as a number 3. And then the one position where I thought they were lacking when we played them last year, tight end, they've turned that around to sign Jared Cook from the Packers. And I know.
Familiar face.
Very familiar face. Coming back home. We originally drafted Jared Cook way back in the day. It didn't really pan out. He's not much of a blocking tight end, but he is a pretty good pass catching tight end. If anyone remembers the NFC playoffs last year.
Ooh, that was a catch on the sideline, baby.
That was a catch. So they've definitely upgraded at that position, and all across the board, all I see are weapons for Derek Carr to throw to.
Yeah.
I mean, you focus on
the poison.
Yeah, pick your poison.
We should probably mention Cordero Patterson also joins that group. Not as much of a polished wide receiver, but we do know he is a dynamic playmaker if he has the ball in his hands. We saw him return a long kickoff against us when he was with the Vikings last year.
Now, Justin, we're looking at an interesting situation with the Titans wide receiving core because in the preseason, it looked like we were going to kind of have our pick and our choice of who to bring, who actually makes the team and have a lot of depth at that position. Now, all of a sudden, within a few days, we're looking at going into week 1 with only 4 wide receivers on the roster.
Yeah. What gives? Tajay Sharp and Harry Douglas now on injured reserve. They got hurt during the preseason. We released Trey McBride, who I know Mike Mularkey said they were hoping to get him back on the practice squad, but we didn't have that chance because Chicago snatched him up.
Let's move on from that because he's gone now, okay? Whether you think Harry Douglas is better than him or not, if one more person mentions Trey McBride to me, I swear I will...
Man, tell us how you really feel, man. I can't really tell. So we had to bring back Eric Weems, who is our 5th receiver, but he's not going to be a receiver for us. So we brought him in to play special teams and to possibly return kickoffs. So really, we're working with Corey Davis, Eric Decker, 2 guys who virtually had 0 preseason action and have been working through an injury. We have Rashard Matthews, who's our only proven commodity, and Taywan Taylor, young, bright-looking star, but again, he's a rookie. Is 4 receivers enough to carry a team? Because if one of those guys goes down, we could be in serious trouble with some depth.
I mean, I think this is a huge storyline for the Titans going into this game. Like you said, Corey Davis didn't play in the preseason. Not only that, he hasn't really gotten much time with Mariota at all during the offseason. We all know that he had that contract holdout, so he missed a lot of time where he could have been practicing there or getting some chemistry with Mariota. Do I think 4 wide receivers is enough? For most teams, no, but we got to remember the Titans don't run even a lot of 3 wide receiver sets. We run like 2 wideouts and then 2 to 3 tight end sets. So we don't play a lot of that spread offense that I know me and you would like to see more of. So I don't think it's as critical for our team based on our play style as it would be for another team.
And we have also Delanie Walker, who's basically a wide receiver as well. Let's not forget Delanie Walker, and I think that could mean an even bigger role for Jonnu Smith in the passing game, because he showed some flashes too in the preseason. So I think he could be featured as well. But yeah, four receivers. They are seemingly, when healthy, they're all really good quality receivers. It's just the lack of depth at the position now that could be a concern. As far as tight ends go, I think Delaney Walker completely outclasses Jared Cook, obviously. But as far as the receivers go, we're still unproven in that we haven't seen our best receivers on the field play for the Titans. I think I would give the edge to the Oakland receivers.
So yeah, moving on to the defensive side of the ball, I think everyone knows Oakland's main star, Khalil Mack. I mean, one of the top defenders in the league, gonna be up for Defensive Player of the Year again.
On the other side, you gotta mention Bruce Irvin, who's a very capable pass rusher. They form a very dynamic duo of pass rushers for them. I think that is where their strength in their defense lies, is with those two players. But if I remember this point last year in the game against the Raiders, we very well neutralized Khalil Mack. He didn't really do much against us last year. Jack Conklin held that spot down against him. So hopefully we can repeat that again this year.
I think that's a prime matchup going into this game. Their pass rushers, especially Khalil Mack, versus our offensive line, especially looking at how our O-line struggled in pass protection in the preseason.
Looking at their team from last year, Malcolm Smith, former Super Bowl MVP for the Seahawks, he is now signed with the 49ers. So Raiders fans, if you are watching this video, how does it feel to lose Malcolm Smith, who far and away led your team in tackles last year, and who's going to pick up that production? Because it looked like he was a big part of that defense for you guys.
I don't think anyone looks at Oakland, this Oakland team, and thinks that their defense is kind of the star for the team. They're definitely offensively weighted, but they have a very opportunistic defense.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they were tied with Kansas City last year for turnover differential, plus 16.
But if you look at their secondary, they do struggle against the passing game. I know Sean Smith got in trouble with the law. He's probably going to jail. Whoopsies.
Oh boy, you done it now.
It's going to be hard for him to make an impact here. Their first-round cornerback, Garyon Conley from Ohio State, he's been hurt all of training camp, all of the preseason, but he is expected to play week 1. But they do have a couple of pretty good safeties in Reggie Nelson and Carl Joseph. They make a pretty good team back there, but I do know they do struggle against the pass. That's where we could possibly exploit them.
Another similarity to the Titans, though. I feel like it's almost like kind of copy and paste when you're looking at these teams, because our strength lies in our front 7 pass rush. And, last year our weakness was the secondary. We've kind of revamped that, but that's going to be another prime matchup. Throwing them right into the fire with this group of, all-star receivers from the Raiders over there. I'm really looking at how they're going to respond to this first game. Yeah, all I can say is this. If we don't generate a pass rush on Derek Carr, he's going to tear us up no matter who we have back there at cornerback.
Yeah.
But whoever made the NFL schedule this year, they're like, yeah, let's go ahead and put the Titans and the Raiders week 1. Let's just see what they got. Are these teams good? Is the Titans secondary really that good? Let's put them up against these five favorites. So Justin, who do you think's got the advantage in terms of defensive presence in this game?
I've got to go with my home team, the Tennessee Titans. I think we get the slight advantage. I think they have too many question marks in their secondary, which is ironic because so do the Titans. But I like Kevin Byard back there. I think he's the best defensive back on both teams. I think Logan Ryan has more experience upside than any cornerback that they have. They're starting a rookie on the outside who hasn't practiced at all in Garyon Conley.
As a unit, I think the Titans are better, but I've seen Khalil Mack, man, and I've seen how he can be a one-man wrecking force and single-handedly kind of change the course of the game. So we gotta keep him in check. Yeah. But as a unit, I do think the Titans have the advantage. Give us that check mark.
Ding, 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 ding. So what do you know? Two very evenly matched teams as far as we're concerned. Like you said, copy and paste. Control-C, Control-V. You get the Titans and Raiders. But I'm expecting the Titans, I'm expecting big things from the Titans offense. And I think if they can put together a good game plan, we can outshoot them. It's going to be a shootout, a barn.
So what's your prediction then?
I am going to go 31-27 Titans.
But I'm looking for our offense to kind of take it to this young Raiders secondary. They're kind of broken back there. Our offensive line will handle their pass rushers, and we're going to win 28-17 home opener. But if you've been a viewer of this channel for any time at all and have seen these preview episodes, you know that we actually know nothing in terms of predictions. It is all dictated by Mr. John Madden and the Madden gods himself. So this is the segment of the show where we, Justin and I, team up as the Titans and play a simulation game in Madden against the Raiders to find out who's going to win. Because we know the outcome of that game most of the time decides the outcome of real life.
It's true. It's very hard to doubt that fact.
So it's time for a little Madden challenge. First one of the year. Justin and I have been practicing. Have you been practicing?
Yeah, about that. Every day.
Yeah, anyways, well, let's get it done. See you on the field.
Feels good.
So this video is going to be the preview episode between the Week 1 NFL matchup.
I look like a fool. Oh, that was gross.
The mic picked that up.
Don't share.
Oh. Okay. That's real right now. This is real. This is real.
Foot underneath the chair leg, and I sat, and you know how fat I am.
This is real.
My toe feels crushed.
This is real pain.
We're gonna have to retake it, but it's not as painful as the preseason. We'll make it.